The day before our engagement, my CEO girlfriend, Isabella, gifted me a Ferrari. But I had just received a full-ride scholarship to study abroad, and after an agonizing debate, I broke up with her in front of everyone. The handsome young man who was always fawning over her burst into tears and apologized to me. "It's all my fault, my mistake. Please don't blame Ms. Miller, and please don't be angry with her. I'm so sorry." Isabella's eyes were red-rimmed as she gently cupped his face, her touch full of a tenderness she never showed me. Wiping away his tears, her gaze then shifted to me, turning cold with contempt. "Davis, you've really grown some wings, haven't you? Don't you forget that I paid for your entire college education and every single one of your living expenses. Do you really think you can survive without me?" The day before our engagement, my CEO girlfriend, Isabella Miller, gave me a red Ferrari. The fiery red body was emblazoned with the initials EST for Isabella and Davis. I ran my fingers over the smooth finish, my eyes flicking to the acceptance letter for the full-ride scholarship. After a long, hard struggle, I finally made my decision and chose to end things as peacefully as I could. "Let's break up," I said. "I don't like red, but you chose it anyway. You don't really love me." The world around us seemed to fall silent. The handsome young man standing beside her, Liam, went pale and immediately burst into tears. "It's all my fault, my mistake. I was the one who picked the color. Please don't blame Ms. Miller or be angry with her. I'm the one you should be mad at. Please don't break up with her," Liam pleaded, his words sounding as weak and brittle as a dry autumn leaf. Isabella's eyes were rimmed with red as she gently brushed away his tears with a tenderness I had never seen before. Watching them, a sharp pain pierced my chest, like a sudden snowflake in a winter wind, freezing solid in an instant. She had never, not once, looked at me with that kind of gentleness. So this was the gentle side of the domineering CEO. "Liam, don't cry," she cooed. "You're so sweet. You were just trying to be nice by giving him the car you loved most. It's not your fault he doesn't appreciate it. Don't be sad." My chest felt heavy, as if an invisible weight was pressing down, making it hard to breathe. She gave all her gentleness to this boy toy, making me finally see that she never truly loved me. Here they were, in broad daylight, just before our engagement, carrying on with their suspiciously close relationship. How had I never noticed before that her eyes were always on him? After comforting Liam, that gentle expression vanished in an instant. "Davis, look what you've done," she snapped. "You've terrified Liam. He just turned 18. He's practically a child. Apologize to him right now. You've hurt his feelings. He was just trying to save me money by giving you the Ferrari I had originally bought for him. Not only are you ungrateful, you made him cry," she continued, her voice rising. "Would it kill you to cut him some slack? Liam saved my life. He donated part of his liver for me. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be alive. And you certainly wouldn't be living this life of luxury." Isabella said it all so casually, but her words were a slap in the face. In that moment, I understood exactly where I stood with her. I had completely overestimated my own importance. Even though I was the one ending it, I felt a pang of conflict. She was right, after all. Everything I had, she had given me. "Isabella, it was me," I said, my voice strained. "I was the one who donated part of my liver to you. Why won't you believe me?" "Stop talking nonsense," she shot back. "You were nowhere to be found when I needed you most. Liam was the one who saved me. Have you no shame trying to steal his credit? What kind of person are you?" Isabella tore into me, all to defend her handsome young man. So that was it. Liam wasn't important to her because he looked like a model, or because he was some programming prodigy, or even because he was rising through the company ranks. It was because when Isabella was sick, he had supposedly saved her life with a liver donation. But Isabella, completely deceived, had no idea that I was the one who had actually saved her. I had been afraid she wouldn't accept a donation from me, so I used a business trip as an excuse to disappear while she was in the hospital. So much had happened since then that it never felt like the right time to mention it. And now, even if she knew the truth, it wouldn't change a thing. Looking back, her cold, indifferent gaze over the years was like a bitter winter wind. It was chilling, but it also woke me up. "Isabella, let's just break up, I said firmly. Let's end this amicably. Her expression hardened into pure disdain. Davis, you think you can fly on your own now? Don't forget, I paid for your college, your apartment, your entire life. Do you really think you can survive without me? She scoffed. Maybe we've lost that spark between us. I've been wondering if this is even the love I wanted. You're nothing without me. Her words hit me like a bucket of ice water, chilling me to the bone. In that instant, it felt like an invisible hand was crushing my heart, each beat a fresh wave of tearing pain. I thought back to college, to how pure and simple things were between us then. The sweet moments we shared, the whispered secrets late at night, all felt like a distant dream. Now, it was true that I owed Isabella a great deal. After graduation, she joined her family's company, Miller Enterprises, and her exceptional performance quickly propelled her to the CEO's office. But as her power grew, so did her temper. She became increasingly controlling. I owed her a debt, and I paid it with part of my liver. With a heavy sigh, I placed a debit card on the hood of the Ferrari. It contained all the money she had given me over the years, minus my basic living expenses. There was about $1.5 million in the account. I didn't feel relieved exactly, nor was it closure, but I was walking away with nothing. I had given back everything I could. From this moment on, we were even. To be honest, walking away from $1.5 million was a tough pill to swallow. As for the Ferrari, I wanted nothing to do with it. I had clearly been delusional. The initials on the car weren't ID for Isabella and Davis. They were IL for Isabella and Liam. I had just made a fool of myself. Isabella, let's just leave it at that. I wish you and Liam happiness, I said. Are you insane? Are you really doing this? She demanded. I didn't answer. I just turned, hailed a cab, and left. We had booked this hotel, the Plaza, for our engagement party tomorrow. The next morning, the sun had barely risen when I was jolted awake by a frantic pounding on my door. I opened it to find Isabella, who stormed past me, her face a mask of fury. Davis, you're a grown man. Act like it, she yelled. The party is about to start. Stop this nonsense. My family has invited some very important people today. Are you trying to publicly humiliate me by not showing up? She had a key to my room, of course. The loud knocking was a power move, a warning for me to back down. It was her way of signaling that she was in charge. I had to laugh to myself. That woman saw nothing but her own interests and her precious public image. She had turned a simple engagement into a massive spectacle, with Miller Enterprises inviting a swarm of reporters, as if she wanted the whole world to know her name. But what did any of that have to do with me anymore? I had already made my decision to leave. Why should I care about saving her face at some ridiculous party? Was I not clear enough? I retorted, "We're done." I gave everything back and walked away. "Why are you here?" "Are you out of your mind?" she fired back. "I thought you were just throwing a tantrum yesterday, which is fine. I gave you an out, and all you had to do was take it. Besides, Liam already apologized. Why are you still acting like this?" Her eyes were like a dark night sky, the starry points of light hiding a simmering fire of indignation. Finally, she exploded. "Don't push your luck, Davis. I'm rich, I'm beautiful, and I have men lining up from New York to Paris to be with me. You'll regret it if you walk away from this. You have 40 minutes to think it over. I'll be waiting downstairs. Don't say I didn't give you a chance." With that, she swept out of the room, utterly convinced I would follow, leaving me no chance to argue. As I watched her go, my mind flashed back in time. I remembered when I was at my lowest, and she had appeared like a ray of light in the darkness, offering me a hand and pulling me out of despair. "Look at you, you big idiot. You got me now. Don't worry," she had said. Her smile had brightened my entire world, like the first bloom of spring, full of life and hope. The memories surfaced one by one, like faded photographs from a long-forgotten album. After wrestling with my emotions, I decided to go down to the party. I needed to make things crystal clear, to give her and her family a definitive answer. The traffic was terrible, and by the time I arrived at the ballroom, I was 15 minutes late. As I entered the grand ballroom, I saw Isabella on Liam's arm, chatting with guests. Just then, the MC took the stage and announced the engagement of Isabella Miller and Liam Vance. In that moment, the world seemed to drain of all color, and an uninvited chill cut straight through my suit and into my soul. I stood there alone, a ghost in a bustling crowd. Her fiancé was now Liam. I had made my choice, I had ended it, but a part of me, it seemed, still couldn't bear to let go. Reporters immediately swarmed them, thrusting microphones in their faces. "Ms. Miller, may I ask a rather bold question?" One of them ventured. Isabella offered a tight smile. "If you know it's bold, why are you asking?" "Well, Ms. Miller, we were under the impression that your fiancé was your college classmate, Davis Wright. Why the sudden change to the much younger Liam Vance?" Isabella's face darkened. "Don't even mention him. I get furious just thinking about that bastard. Davis was cheating on me. Scum like that could never marry into the Miller family." I kicked him to the curb. Then her eyes found me in the crowd, her gaze deep and frigid. I knew that look. It was a silent, simmering rage, more potent than any shouted words. It was the kind of look that needed no explanation to be understood, and it was enough to freeze the blood in my veins. "Davis, you're late," she called out, her voice dripping with scorn. "I gave you a chance, and you blew it. You didn't show up on my terms. But no matter, a fiancé is easily replaced." Hearing my name, the reporters swiveled around, shoving their cameras and microphones in my face. "Mr. Davis, can you comment? Did you really cheat on Ms. Miller, or is there more to this story?" I remained silent, pretending I couldn't hear the ridiculous question. I never thought that even she, as cold as she was, would stoop to humiliating me like this in public. As the reporters jostled me, I accidentally bumped into Liam. He stumbled dramatically, nearly falling, and Isabella rushed to steady him. "Are you okay? Are you hurt?" she asked, full of concern. I'm fine," he stammered, looking flustered and putting on an act of shy, innocent boy overwhelmed by the situation. But the look he shot me was filled with contempt and scorn. For a split second, the corner of his mouth curved into a triumphant smirk before his expression changed back. "Davis," he said, his voice full of false sincerity, "I know you must be angry with me. This party is so important to Isabella. Please don't make a scene. After this is all over, you can do whatever you want of me. Hit me, yell at me, I'll take it." His tone, his posture, it was all a performance. He was deliberately playing the part of the innocent victim, a role designed to make even the hardest heart soften with pity. Without a word, Isabella turned and slapped me hard across the face. "Davis, have you gone too far?" she seethed. "Why did you just shove Liam? Are you blind? Apologize to him right now." Liam gently tugged her arm, playing the timid peacemaker. "Isabella, it's okay, I'm fine. He doesn't need to apologize. I'm sure Davis was just being impulsive. He didn't mean to do it. I get it," he continued. "Davis has always had it out for me. He misunderstood my relationship with you, and that's why he acted out and cheated. I'm only here today to help you save face." Then he turned to me. "Davis, since you're here, I should go. You're the one who's supposed to be her fiancé, after all, even though you cheated. I'm sure Isabella will forgive you for old times' sake." He said it all with such a noble air, this little snake, throwing around the word cheated over and over. I wanted nothing more than to slam him to the ground and beat the smirk off his face. So young, and already so good at being a piece of trash. I ignored the little weasel. "Isabella," I said, looking directly at her, "you're going to get burned one of these days. Liam isn't someone you can control. Don't let this boy toy deceive you. That's my last piece of advice to you. Take it or leave it." Isabella sneered. "Oh, Davis, don't be so bitter. It's just sour grapes. You're the one who wanted to break up, and now you're telling me to stay away from Liam? Don't you think you're being a little ridiculous?" With that, she draped Liam's arm over her shoulder, a clear gesture meant to provoke me. A storm of camera flashes erupted around us. This was a real spectacle now. I could already see the headlines on Twitter. Hashtag chaos, hashtag Miller Enterprise engagement, hashtag fine skiing scandal, hashtag Siaska Pegram Sat Theater, hashtag House the Relketer. The reporters, sensing more drama, eagerly shoved their microphones back in my face. "Excuse me, please let me through. I'm leaving," I said with a calm smile. To them, I probably looked pathetic and defeated. After all, I had just been branded a cheater when I had done nothing of the sort. It didn't matter. I didn't care about their snide remarks and loaded questions. Seeing me actually turn to leave, Isabella panicked. Davis, if you walk out that door today, I swear there will be no more chances. You need to think this through. I have thought it through, I said, my voice even. As for any money I still owe you, I'll pay it back as soon as I can. I love the woman you were in college, not the person you become. Let's go our separate ways. Goodbye, Isabella. I turned and walked away, a pack of reporters trailing behind me. Mr. Davis, your fiancé claims you cheated. Is there any truth to that? One reporter shouted. Mr. Davis, did you break up because of Liam Vance? Is he the other man? Yelled another. Whether I cheated or not is irrelevant, I replied calmly. As for whether Liam Vance is a homewrecker, I trust you all have eyes. You can see the situation for yourselves. So, I have no further comment. Excuse me. Just then, the reporter saw Isabella coming after me and immediately swarmed her instead. It was almost funny. The ever-composed CEO of Miller Enterprises for the first time had a look of desperation in her eyes. Davis, are you really breaking up with me? She yelled, her voice cracking, as if desperate to make sure I heard every word. But I was already too far gone. 2 days later, I packed my bags and left for my studies in Paris. In my absence, the engagement party fiasco blew up online, trending on Twitter for days. Isabella became infamous, with people calling her a cougar, while Liam was relentlessly mocked as a gold-digging boy toy who used a woman to get ahead. The online chatter about me was surprisingly minimal in comparison. I recalled an incident a week before the party, when I went with Isabella to her best friend's birthday dinner. Her friend spoke freely, not caring that I was sitting right there. Isabella, your Davis is so well-behaved, one of them said. You tell him to jump, and he asks, how high? What's your secret? You have to tell us, seriously. Another chimed in. Don't hold out on us. We'd love to have a man at home who's that obedient while we have our fun on the side. Isabella just laughed, her tone dripping with condescension. My Davis is more obedient than a puppy, because that's what he is. Show him the slightest bit of affection, and he's all yours, wagging his tail. If I ignore him for a day, he acts like his world is ending, she added. And you all know I paid for his entire life, his NYU tuition, everything. Without me, he'd be no different from a beggar on the street. I'm the one who gave him this taste of the good life. Isabella and her friends laughed and joked in their private booth, completely oblivious to my feelings. I was reduced to her personal servant, pouring her drinks. When her feet hurt from her heels, she made me kneel and massage them in front of everyone. Goaded on by her friends, she then made me kiss her foot and tell her how lovely it was. I felt like a performing clown. Isabella, as your friend, I have to warn you, one of them said, a bit more seriously. Don't push him too far. What if he finally gets fed up and leaves you? You'll never find another man that devoted. You don't want to end up in one of those dramatic stories where you're begging him to come back. Looking back, her friend was right on the money. I did wake up, and I did decide to make my own way. And when Isabella ran out after me, I think she realized she had lost control. The look in her eyes told me she didn't want to let me go. Maybe just for a second, she actually felt regret. The very day I left, Liam moved into Isabella's mansion as expected. But after just a few days of them living together, Isabella began to feel a profound emptiness, a sense of being unmoored. It wasn't the heavy weight of sadness or the sharp sting of loneliness, but rather an indescribable void. Perhaps it was the loss of the simple, good things that had once made her feel whole. The feeling was most acute late at night, like a hollow space in her chest that could not be filled. One night, Isabella stood on her balcony, staring absently at the star-filled sky. Liam's soft voice drifted out to her. Baby, what are you doing out here? I ran a bath for you. It's ready. Hearing the word, baby, Isabella snapped back to reality. For a fleeting moment, she thought it was me. But when she turned and saw Liam's youthful, handsome face, her expression fell. Liam wrapped his arms around her waist and leaned in for a kiss, but she shoved him away and slapped him hard across the face. Get out, she snarled. Leave me alone. You don't get to call me that. Liam clutched his cheek his eyes red with shock and hurt. "Baby, why did you hit me? What's wrong?" A furious glint appeared in Isabella's eyes. "Are you deaf? Did you not hear me? Let me make this clear. Only Davis is allowed to call me that. No one else, do you understand? Liam, take a good look at yourself. You could never replace him." Isabella stormed out of the mansion, got in her car, and drove straight to the apartment she had bought for me. The moment she unlocked the door and stepped inside, her composure shattered. Aside from a few things she had left there, every trace of me was gone. I hadn't left a single thing behind for her to remember me by. She frantically searched the apartment, desperate to find something, anything of mine. She finally found a small, locked box in the back of a closet. She pried it open and found it filled with photos of us from college. We looked so young and happy in all of them. It had been the happiest time of our lives. The memories came flooding back as she looked through the photos one by one, tears welling in her eyes. Then she found it a hospital form, a voluntary organ donation consent form. And at the bottom, next to her name as the recipient, was my signature as the donor. The tears turned into uncontrollable sobs. "Oh, Davis," she wept. "I'm so sorry. I was wrong. You were telling the truth, and I wouldn't believe you. I'm so sorry. I humiliated you so terribly. You must have been in so much pain." She sank to the floor, her body shaking with sobs. The moments she could never get back became a permanent ache in her heart. Only now, after she had lost me, did she realize I had been an essential part of her life. She scrambled for her phone and dialed my number, only to be met with the one message she didn't want to hear. "The number you have dialed is no longer in service." Isabella couldn't believe it. I had been so decisive as to cancel my phone number entirely. She knew it was pointless, but she tried sending an iMessage anyway, only to receive an automated reply. Message failed to send. Just then, a message from Liam popped up, full of fake concern and apologies. The sight of his name filled Isabella with a deep, visceral disgust. She went on ins. She immediately called the general manager of her company and gave him a direct order. Liam was dragged from his bed and thrown out of the mansion by the general manager and a couple of security guards, his belongings tossed onto the lawn after him. "How dare you?" he screamed. "I saved Isabella's life. I gave her my liver. When she finds out about this, you're all fired." The general manager spat on the ground. "Don't give me that crap, you shameless liar. You weren't the donor. The boss knows everything now. You conniving little snake, you dare to trick her. Boys, teach him a lesson." He had brought this on himself. Amid a series of pathetic screams, Liam was beaten so badly his face swelled up and two of his front teeth were knocked out. While it was night back in the States, the sun was rising in Paris. My transition to studying abroad was going smoothly. The school had helped me find a wonderful host family, the Devises. By sheer coincidence, their daughter, Chloe, was also a student at my design school. They had been living in Paris for over a decade. My specialization is haute couture, with a focus on intricate traditional embroidery. I had even won the CFDA/Vogue Fashion Fund award back home for my work. In fact, most of the signature couture pieces worn by the models at Miller Enterprises Fashion Division were my designs. From the day Isabella and I officially became a couple in college, I dreamed of designing her wedding gown myself. I imagined a breathtaking creation, a masterpiece of silk and embroidery, something that would make her the most stunning woman anyone had ever seen. But after graduation, that dream faded. Isabella pulled me into Miller Enterprises, where I worked for her as an in-house designer, essentially for free. My days were endless, starting before dawn and ending long after midnight. I first met Liam because Isabella had accepted a massive commission on my behalf. A wealthy socialite wanted a pair of custom wedding outfits for her daughter and son-in-law, a commission worth over $1 million, meant to symbolize an everlasting union. After 3 months of nonstop work, the final pieces were displayed in the main hall. A magnificent gown and tuxedo, intricately embroidered with a dragon and phoenix motif in pure gold thread and studded with flawless crystals. They shimmered under the lights, casting a dazzling, multicolored glow. That was the day Isabella brought Liam to the studio for a fitting. I had to carefully dress both of them in the custom garments. And that was the day a paparazzo, disguised as a delivery guy, snapped photos of them. The next day, the pictures were everywhere with a headline: Miller CEO's secret fitting with mystery man. Is fiancé Davis Wright being cheated on? They had clearly photographed me in the background, but they deliberately blurred my face to create a scandal. The client, the socialite, eventually had to issue a public statement to clear up the mess. But as it turned out, the paparazzi were right on the money. I was being cheated on. After dinner with the Davis family, I went back to my room and started flipping through a book of classic couture designs the dean had given me. I became so absorbed that I felt transported. Before I knew it, I had my stylus in hand and was sketching on my tablet for hours of intense, immersive focus. Later, I had a complete design for a new wedding ensemble, a modern take on a classic dragon and phoenix theme. The unique feature of this design was its three-dimensional quality. The golden dragon and phoenix were not just embroidered, but sculpted from fine gold wire and woven directly into the silk, making them appear alive. When I finished the digital render, I looked up and saw Chloe standing in the doorway, staring at the screen in awe. "Oh my God, Davis, did you just create that?" she exclaimed. "That's an absolutely insane design." "Chloe, when did you get here?" I asked, startled. "Heidi, my mom, sent me up with some fruit for you," she said. "I saw you were in a zone, so I didn't want to interrupt. I've been standing here for a while." "Thanks, Chloe," I said. "You were so focused," she observed. "I bet you were designing that for you and your girlfriend to wear at your wedding someday, weren't you?" I paused for a moment. "I don't think so. We broke up." Chloe's eyes widened, and she covered her mouth with her hand. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. Please don't be upset. It's fine," I reassured her. "It's over now. I am okay." Chloe was 21, for years younger than me, and she was lively and endearingly quirky. She was incredibly popular at school and an undeniable beauty. Her only vice was that she was a huge gossip. She was the school's unofficial source for who was dating who broke up with who. She knew everything, though no one knew how she got her information, and it seemed I was her next target. "So, why'd you break up?" she asked, her eyes wide with curiosity. "Can you tell me? I really want to know." I gently poked her on the forehead. "You're a nosy one, aren't you? Have you even finished your own assignments yet?" She stuck her tongue out and made a face. "Nope, but I can use yours for inspiration. I'll do a 3D take on a classic sheath dress. How about that?" She grew serious for a moment. "You're like a rabbit, Davis. Quiet, but you'll bite if you have to. A wounded rabbit. I can see you trying to heal, working so hard here. You're trying to prove something, aren't you?" I was taken aback. This girl was surprisingly perceptive. Every word she said was sharp and hit close to home. She wasn't wrong. I had been Isabella's pet rabbit, completely under her control. "Chloe, you should switch majors," I joked. "Go study psychology. You're wasting your talent." She waved her hands dismissively. "No way. What if I get really good at it and can immediately tell if my future boyfriend is cheating on me? I'd be heartbroken all the time." What kind of logic is that?" I was completely baffled. She giggled. "I'm just kidding. You actually believe me, you goof. I just hope you never have to go through a bad breakup." "It really hurts," I said quietly. "Well, since you put it that way," she said, her tone suddenly playful, "why don't we give it a try? You wouldn't break my heart, would you?" She blinked her big, beautiful eyes at me, looking impossibly cute. "No," I said quickly. "Don't even think about it." Her face fell, her cheerful mood vanishing. "Is it because of your liver?" she asked softly. "My parents told me. I know everything that happened." My eye twitched. "You were way too nosy. Why were you asking your parents about me? Are you nuts? You're like a little paparazzo." She suddenly wrapped her arms around my neck, her eyes sparkling with amusement. "I was just worried about you," she said. "Any normal guy would have a hard time resisting a beautiful girl throwing herself at him like this." I looked away, my own insecurities surfacing. "You were right before," I said quietly. "I was just someone's pet. I have nothing to my name. You deserve someone much better than me." She leaned in and gave me a soft kiss, then held my face in her hands. "But you're the one I like," she insisted. "And for what it's worth, my parents really like you too. Stop hesitating and just be my boyfriend." And just like that, in a complete daze, I became Chloe's boyfriend. From then on, we went to school together every day, hand in hand. We were inseparable outside of our classes. I also started picking up freelance design work in my spare time. I was determined never to be financially dependent on a woman again. I made sure to pay my own way, tried my best not to take any money from Chloe, even though she was my girlfriend. I needed to stand on my own 2 feet. During this time, I got some great news. One of my freelance designs had won a major award for the company that commissioned it. They paid me a bonus of $50,000. Having my own money again started to rebuild my confidence. That night, I treated the Davis family to dinner at a nice restaurant to celebrate. Suddenly, a pair of soft hands covered my eyes from behind. Guess who? A cheerful voice chirped. I recognized her perfume instantly and pulled her in my lap. "It's my little bunny," I said. "I'm a beautiful woman, not a bunny," she pouted. "And congratulations. My parents told me you got paid. We're all so happy for you." I then realized Chloe had come alone. "Where are your parents?" I asked. "They got held up at a last-minute company meeting," she explained. "What? Are you disappointed it's just me?" she added with a playful huff. "My little bunny, you get upset so easily," I teased, giving her a quick kiss. "Maybe this will help." "Stop calling me that," she mumbled, blushing. "I know the dirty joke that comes from." I grinned mischievously. "Hey, the gray bunny and the white rabbit are meant to be together. Why don't you tell me the joke again?" "No way," she squealed, playfully swatting my arm. "You're terrible." A month later, my dragon and phoenix design won first place at the school's annual showcase. Chloe then convinced her parents to sponsor its creation. After 3 months of meticulous work by master artisans, the stunning three-dimensional wedding ensemble was sent to a prestigious auction house. CEOs and collectors from all over flew in for the event. As the designer, I was invited as a special guest, and I brought Chloe with me. There were 10 lots up for auction that night, and to my surprise, my creation was scheduled as the final headline piece. The auctioneer, beaming, introduced each of the 10 magnificent pieces. As the evening progressed, the anticipation built. Finally, it was time for my dragon and phoenix ensemble. The 2 crimson garments were unveiled. The sculpted three-dimensional gold dragon and phoenix seemed to writhe with life, as if they might leap off the silk. The entire room was captivated. It was a design that spoke to a deep, timeless sense of artistry and tradition. The room erupted in thunderous applause. "Ladies and gentlemen," the auctioneer announced, "the creator of this masterpiece is only 25 years old. Though young, he is a past winner of the prestigious CFDA/Vogue Fashion Fund, a true testament to his incredible talent. That award is considered the Oscar of the American fashion world. He had originally intended this design for himself and his beloved, a piece to mark the start of their life together." The auctioneer's voice grew somber. "But alas, time moves on, and hearts can change. Love requires a journey taken together, but reality can often be a harsh companion. Our Mr. Davis did not find his happy ending, and so he has decided to pass this creation on to a couple who will." I glanced over at Chloe, and it struck me that she bore a slight resemblance to the man on stage. But wasn't this auctioneer being a little too gossipy? I started to suspect Chloe had put him up to this. When she caught my eye, she just grinned. "You have to admit, my cousin's a pretty good speaker," she whispered. "What? Your cousin?" "The auctioneer is your cousin." I was floored. No wonder the guy kept glancing in our direction. He was checking out his little cousin's new boyfriend. "Oh, did I forget to mention?" she said casually. "The Davis family is kind of big deal. We have our own estate back home. This house in Paris is just a little place my parents bought, so I could be close to school." I listened, dumbfounded. It turned out I was dating the heiress to a massive fortune. It seemed I was destined to be the kept man after all. The Davis family fortune was in the hundreds of billions. The Miller family's wealth was a drop in the ocean by comparison. The bidding was fierce, with paddles flying up across the room. 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. The bids climbed higher and higher, each one a statement. 6 million, 7.5 million, 9 million. At $9 million, the bidding seemed to stall. No one else raised their paddle. Just as the auctioneer was about to bring the gavel down for the third time, a familiar voice cut through the silence. $15 million. The entire room went quiet, and all heads turned to look at the woman who had just spoken. Even the auctioneer was stunned. He asked her to repeat the bid, and after she confirmed it, he slammed the gavel down. Sold to our guest, the CEO of Miller Enterprises. Congratulations, madam. May this piece bring you the happiness it represents. My heart sank. How could it be her? It was Isabella. She looked thinner, and her style was more subdued, less flashy than I remembered. I quickly ducked my head, hoping she wouldn't spot me. There were plenty of designers with a last name Davis. She would never guess it was me. As the crowd began to disperse, Chloe leaned down to look at me. Honey, what are you doing? Did you drop something? I prayed that Isabella would just complete her transaction and leave. But of course, the one thing I didn't want to happen happened. Davis, it's been a while. I looked up, my face flushing with awkwardness. Isabella, long time no see. They say a woman's intuition is never wrong. Chloe must have figured it out instantly, because she stepped right in front of me, her posture confident and unwavering. You're the ex-girlfriend, she stated. Isabella Miller. I thought that name sounded familiar. Is there something you need? If not, my boyfriend and I are heading home. She had staked her claim. Isabella's face fell, all the confidence she'd had moments before draining away. I was confused. What was going on with her? Shouldn't she be lecturing me, putting me in my place? Why was she so quiet? She looked exhausted. Davis, I came here for you, she said, her voice soft. I'm so sorry. I know the truth about everything now. I bought this piece. I was going to ask you to marry me, but I see you found someone new. I truly wish you both the best. Goodbye. Tears streamed down Isabella's face as she turned and walked away, weeping silently. I felt no pity for her. The love was gone. My heart now belonged completely to Chloe. Chloe's cousin, the auctioneer, walked over, an odd expression on his face. So that really was your ex, he said, when she was settling the payment. She told me the piece is a gift for you. Oh, my cousin, pretty generous, dropping $15 million just to give it away. Chloe clutched her chest dramatically. Whoa, that was intense. For a second there, I thought she was going to try and win you back. To be honest, I admitted my heart still pounding. I was scared too. I was afraid she'd make a scene and you'd leave. I'm so afraid of losing you. She climbed onto my lap and cupped my face in her hands, her eyes dancing. If you're really that scared of losing me, she said with a grin, then we should just pick a date and get married. We can even wear your dragon and phoenix design. How does that sound, my little rabbit? Only if my little bunny promises to give this rabbit lots of baby bunnies, I whispered back. Stop it, she giggled, swatting me. My cousin is right here. Her cousin threw his hands up in mock disgust. Hey, I know it's my auction house, but could you two get room? I have a girlfriend, you know. After leaving the auction house, Isabella went straight to the airport. 1,000 thoughts raced through her mind as she wiped away her tears. She had come here with a heart full of regret and a desperate hope of finding the love she had thrown away. Her heart ached with longing for the relationship she had destroyed, for the man she had never truly appreciated. She understood now that some people, once you let them go, are gone forever. The tears welled in her eyes again. This time, they fell with a quiet sigh of resignation that vanished into the night. And though her heart was filled with regret, a sense of acceptance began to settle in. In the fading light of the Parisian evening, all that remained was her solitary figure walking away.